Good morning, everyone. This is MightyStream. I'm here with you. Today is March 21st, and I would like to do the Just for Today reading with you. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Let's take that moment of silence now. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Today, I'm just filled with just joy and happiness. I am so excited about all that God is doing in my life. I'm very excited for my recovery life and the life of my friends in recovery. It seems like even amidst the difficulties of the pandemic, like everyone is figuring out how they personally need to manage it. And that makes me happy. Makes me happy to see people figuring out what they need to do to enjoy their life the way that it is and to improve it, right? To continue against all odds. It just is amazing to watch. Let's get right into the Just for Today for today. The Just for Today for March 21st, excuse me, is a treatable illness. And this comes from the NA World Service Inc. website. And I do not have rights to this information. This belongs completely to them. And I enjoy reading it to you guys. March 21st, a treatable illness, page 83. Addiction is a disease that involves more than the use of drugs. Basic text, page 3. At our meeting, we may have been taken aback at the way members shared about how the disease of addiction had affected their lives. We thought to ourselves, disease? I've just got a drug problem. What in the world are they talking about? After some time in the program, we began to see that our addiction ran deeper than our obsessive, compulsive drug use. We saw that we suffered from a chronic illness that affected many areas of our lives. We didn't know where we caught this disease, but in examining ourselves, we realized that it had been present in us for many years. Just as the disease of addiction affects every area of our lives, so does the NA program. We attend our first meeting with all the symptoms present: the spiritual void, the emotional agony, the powerlessness, the unmanageability. Treating our illness involves much more than mere abstinence. We use the 12 steps, and though they don't cure our illness, they do begin to heal us. And as we recover, we experience the gift of life. Just for today, I will treat my illness with the 12 steps. I like that reading, a treatable illness. And the reason why I like that reading is because people that are new to Narcotics Anonymous or new to any 12-step program, they're eventually going to hear that they have a disease of addiction. And what happens a lot of times is because that word disease, rightfully so, has been so stigmatized, right? What's going to happen is that they're going to generally feel hope, even like, I don't want to say more hopeless, but there's an overwhelming sense that this is serious. This is something that I have to deal with. This cannot be a disease that cannot be treatable. And then on top of that, we say it's incurable, but it is treatable. So what does that mean? That means to me, when I think about my mother, she had a disease that she was diagnosed in the late 80s. Late 80s, I want to say maybe the early 80s, right? But she was diagnosed with this disease. And this disease, it was treatable, but it was not curable. And it could go into remission, but there was always the chance that it would come back. There were things that she could take to help her deal with the symptoms, but they had some awful side effects like putting on weight. And so mentally, she had to adjust to the thought that I'm treating the disease. I'm not going to be as miserable, But this weight gain, I have to manage that. This is how the disease of addiction is, right? And when you come into a 12-step program and you say that you're a member, because you're a member when you say you are now saying that I want to be healed, or I want to recover. I want to have the 12 steps applicable to my life in such a way now that when certain symptoms come up, I'm in a position to cope with them. That's what we mean by treatable. We can offer you help with working the 12 steps of the NA program and make the manifestations of your disease of addiction more manageable. So they are treatable. Some people have poured so much of themselves into 12-step work, the spiritual principles, that they actually can say that they apply the spiritual principles in all their affairs. They have become very adept at being able to apply spiritual principles to whatever situation comes up. So 20 years ago, they may have used over the loss of a loved one, whereas today, they still feel the pain, but they know they need to talk about it. They know they need to make a meeting. They need to know they need to watch people, places, and things. If they're around family members that are using, a lot of times they'll have one of their best buddies in the program, escort them, go with them to that service so that they have someone, some camaraderie, right? So there's ways that I believe that what we just read is absolutely, absolutely, absolutely true. Here's the catch. It only works if you work it. And it works when you don't work it, it just doesn't work for you. You've heard that, right? So we need to go into the mind mode of recovery. So I'm challenging you today, if you don't have a sponsor, to find a sponsor. If you need help working your 12 steps, contact me at recoveryofhope21@gmail, there it is again, .com. Get a hold of me and let me know what you're working on, because I can temporarily help you while you locate your sponsor. Believe me, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And if you're ready to get busy, let's get busy, and you find a sponsor in the meantime so that you can be turned over to your sponsor and you're already in the mode of doing your step work, right? I just believe that it has changed my life, and I believe it will change your life too. My name is MightyStream. It's been a pleasure, and have a beautiful day.